yesterday. Happy birthday to you, Skylar.
Happy birthday.
This is your birthday song.
Every Friday morning, Big Josh selects one birthday and one anniversary winner. Each winner receives an entree and drink for two from Fazoli's. Fazoli's at Cumberland Crossing, La Follette. Fast, fresh, Italian. Fazoli's. Phone your birthday and anniversaries into us at 423-562-1450 for your chance to win. WLAF.
Thanks for following the Cougars over WLAF.
The Lord's been so good to me on this journey. He has blessed me with friends and a family so dear. A humble place to reside and food on my table. But with all of these blessings, somehow I cannot feel at home here. I'm longing for when no goodbyes are spoken. I'm longing for when no pain will be known. The things of this earth, of me, I'm longing for home. This old robe of flesh will one day be quickened, and this old mortal body shall put on immortality. Then I'll have brand new feet that shall not grow weary, new hands that won't fail. Like Jesus I'll be. I'm longing for when no goodbyes are spoken. I'm longing for when the things of this earth cannot satisfy me. Though I'm happy and free, down inside of me, I'm longing for more. Though I'm happy, longing for more.
Opinions, positions, or strategies expressed on WLAF TV 12 do not necessarily reflect those of the staff, management, ownership, or advertisers of WLAF TV 12, 1450 WLAF Radio, FM 100.9, or 1450WLAF.com.
Changes and how they might affect you. If you'd like me to come out and talk with you, or if you'd like to ask me some questions on the phone, my phone number is 1-866-691-5571.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better solutions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Accidents happen. That's why State Farm agent Linda Kilgore and her team are dedicated to getting your car fixed and back on the road as soon as possible. It's just part of being there. Call or visit Linda Kilgore today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Tommy's Motorsports at exit 122 in Clinton has a huge showroom full of motorcycles, ATVs, and jet skis. Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Arctic Cat. Tommy's looking for a quality used bike? Check out Tommy's Chicken Coop. Tommy's Motorsports can put you on the bike, ATV, or jet ski at the prices you can afford. That's Tommy's Motorsports, exit 122 at Clinton.
By all of the guns, exploding to space.
And welcome again to Campbell County Issues. Hey, we are live tonight, but now next week, it's just according to what we want to do. Whether we'll be here next week, but we'll have a replay. If we don't, we'll replay this show. But anyway, don't forget, Bunker 2 is open and running. And tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, and everybody that comes in and wearing anything green, if you're wearing something green, you get a free item. So if there's 100 people go in there, and because they're $3, it's a $3. Well, tomorrow will be a $2 day. So if there's 100, he'd be giving away $200 tomorrow, because he's giving away a gift for tomorrow. He's supposed to send me and let me know exactly who those ladies were. There's 2 ladies that won those. And tell me I've got an appointment for the VA at the 23rd. So I just one thing right after another and going to. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you tonight a little bit about a homeless shelter. I heard that they're not building, but talking about, probably leasing or renting a building for the homeless shelter. Now, we have homeless shelter in Scott County. And we've had people come from over here and other counties. And the thing about it is, here in this area, we get people off the interstate. And you being right here on the interstate could present a problem that you may not want to deal with. But we had a bad thing to happen in Scott County with our homeless shelter. A person got all upset and and there's a few words said, and the man that run the homeless shelter. There's a lot to think about, but people that is not, don't have a home or any place to go, somehow we need to take care of them. And then there's a lot of veterans that homeless, and they have a hard time dealing with some of the things they went through. Now, I didn't go into the war zone. I was one of the lucky ones that went in at the right time and got out at the right time. I was drafted in 1964, went in February. In 1966, I come home. Wasn't about to be re-up. But anyway, a lot of veterans are homeless. And it has caused problems at home at times. But right now, I've not heard any negative stuff coming out of the homeless shelter in Scott County in a while. It's probably been killed, the guy that was running the homeless shelter. And you just, there's one thing about a homeless shelter that maybe I wish somebody would call and try to ask some questions, but a lot of people that's homeless that goes in and uses the home shelter, they have mental issues, and that's just a known fact, and especially the veterans, because folks, I didn't, like I said, I didn't go into the battle areas, but I went through some of the training that would drive a sane man crazy. And because I know that right now, I don't know that I could kill anyone. I wouldn't want to, unless they was trying to kill my family or doing something. I could probably do okay, but outside of that. But whenever I was in the military, and they absolutely drive you to where you, hey, I can't wait to get there and pop a cap on somebody. You know, they train you to kill. That's what you're there for, is to protect America. And you're trained to kill. And I could have killed whenever I got out of the military. There's no question about that. But I would think twice and get all the information I could get about a homeless shelter. And the thing, a homeless shelter where there's a lot of people. Now ours is out in the country, and it's the old Capitol Hill schoolhouse. And so there's no houses within 100 or 200 yards of the place. So you wouldn't want to get where there's right on Main Street or this and that. And that's just my opinion. So if there's anybody out there that would like to ask any questions or anything that I may be able to answer for you, be happy to do that. But like I said, it can be a bigger problem, but people do need a place to sleep in the winter time, and it might be the I guess just as honest anybody ever seen, except and maybe don't drink, might not be a drinker at all, but they can bum in this and make a big living doing it in places like that. But there is a lot of homeless, and when you got a lot of homeless, you're going to have a lot of crime, and so you really need to look at every aspect of it, because it's not people that can make a living doing it. But I don't know where you all are thinking or talking about renting or leasing a building, or you've targeted someplace of what you want. But you'll find that you'll have several people that end up in your homeless shelter, and they'll be here at different times. And now we have a limitation on ours that it's 30 days, as long as you can stay. But there's other things that happen, and some people may leave for a week and they come right back. There's a lot of things that can be said or be concerned about a homeless shelter. Now, first, any subject you'd like to talk about, I'll be happy to talk to you about any subject you want to. Right now, I have a nephew and his family. They live in Italy, and I talked to his mother yesterday or day before yesterday. Time gets by fast for me, and they're doing good. Go grocery shopping. That's it. They can't go out and go to work or can't do nothing. But he is in the civil service and it's a government job, and he retired from the military, and I think he retired with 22 years or something like that, and then he went to civil service where he can make some real money, and he got his trade from being in the military. And so evidently they really like him because they've sent him everywhere, and he's one of those just volunteers and goes wherever they want him to go, but they pay him big money. So anyway, stay in and not now tonight, and maybe even next week if it's according to how things go. But the governor of Tennessee today announced that they want no more than 10, not 50 like they do. Not with the federal government. 10 people. They want everything closed down and have no more than 10 people in a congregation. No. So will the churches shut down? Now schools I think is already shut down for this week or maybe not flash, and I'm missing the running my mouth. But Italy yesterday and today, in 2 days, in a 48-hour period, they've had 714 people pass away, not showing up that they've got the virus. I keep messing up how to say it. It's called coronavirus. C-O-R-O-N-A-D, anyway, it's the coronavirus. And anyway, but Italy has 714. It has 665 yesterday, 649 today to die in Italy. So how serious this thing will get, I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows. But I'm kind of like this. It's better to be criticized for having too many beds and not having enough if this thing really turns on like they think it may. And if it starts hitting that hard, then I'm going to heed the warning and I'm going to stay home. I will be 78 years old in July, and I got a little 13-year-old grandson, and I'd love to see him graduate from high school. And I guess then after that, I don't know. You got to find something other to live for, or have some reason to just try to hang on. And I just always try to figure out something that, okay, there's something out there to achieve. Now, see, I had this idea that I wanted to retire and not do nothing when I was 60. I wanted to go to bed when I wanted to. I wanted to get up when I wanted to. So I achieved that goal. And I had to have enough money to where I could do some of the things that maybe that buy a $100,000 boat that I'm going to go fishing on twice. First week of April this year, my 18th year will start, and in Scott County I'll start my 26th. Want to come, but you set yourself goals that you want to do, then you've got to get up and go do them. If it wasn't for that, it's just like right now. I don't know about you all, but I love to watch sports. Well, they've canceled all the sports programs, so, and I don't know about your churches over here. I know last night, whenever I went to do Scott County Church or show, every church I went by, except one church, there was no cars, so they canceled their services. I don't know about what you're doing over here. I do know that you just canceled your schools, and I do know that you had at least one case of that virus. So anyway, and like I said, I was going to put Sherlock Holmes on this to get some information on the case, but anyway, I was told today that the person, or not the person, but the place where the person worked today, and I can't question whether it was and verify it, that it happened. And that person and that company, I guess, needs to, if they want it told, that they need to tell it and where it's at and what's happened. But anyway, you have had one confirmed here. And is there any subject anybody would like to talk about tonight? I mean, I don't. Hazel Valley, he doesn't call as much anymore. I think what he's done, way back there, whenever I done some singing, he said, and he had no idea. He didn't know me from Adam. And I had sung a couple of songs and here on TV, and he called in and said, asked me if I knew how to, he said, I'll vote Democrat next time. So anyway, I don't know whether he ever paid me back or not, but I got a funny feeling that when the election comes around, it's going to be a different thing this time. But whether it is or it isn't, I'm in the middle of Republican cause there's not many Democrats in this part of the country. So if I've got any friends there, they're Republicans. But anyway, I got a couple of weeks ago on my show in Scott County. There's another one, a guy over there that just tries to drive me crazy and calls me a Democrat. And it concerns me. I don't like being called a Democrat. I mean, I'm a Democrat mostly. I vote for Republican at times. I really do. I voted for Lamar Alexander every time he run until this last time. Whenever he said, you need to send me back to the Senate so I can help get some of this stuff straightened out. I believe the Senate right now has been the do-nothing and the gutless. I don't think that there's any of them got enough guts to stand up for anything. And Mitch McConnell has just got them sitting on their hands and afraid to speak. Or they'll go against them and try to get them defeated. But you know what? Let's talk. It's a real situation. And I did have a lady to call me 2 weeks ago and say, Ariel, the reason you don't get any calls anymore, they sit and listen to you. But you don't get any calls hardly. We're still in church. And most of those people are Republicans. And we don't like it the way you've talked about Trump. And, you know, I think that we all, even if it's Trump or the Democrats or whatever, you take Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh has, I don't know what he's making now, but I don't know back in the heyday, whenever he was really on against Bill Clinton, and then when George Bush came into second, the man makes $40 million a year, and he's on 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, talking about the Democrats. Sean, you're on the air.
I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
About the nature. There's things going around this disease or whatever it is.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many people died every year with the flu?
How many people died with it?
Yeah, with the flu.
Oh, well, now with the flu, there's probably 30,000 a year die with it. But here's the thing about this. The flu is something that 330 million people have a certain percent. And we're talking about like less than 0.1% of the people have it. This thing supposedly is like 10 times as bad. It really kills the elderly. If you're sick or over 60 years old and it gets a hold of you, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's just like right now in Italy. And I guess you heard me say it. They've lost, in the last 2 days, they've lost 714 people dead with it.
Yeah.
And that 714 people, and they have 60 million people. If it went like that every day, like we do with the flu, it would wipe out Lord have mercy how many people it would kill.
Yeah.
And so this thing is supposed, with what the doctors are saying, it's 10, and I'm telling you, I like to die. I stayed in bed 15 days. The only time I get up out of bed is go use the bathroom or go to the doctor. And whenever I fell out of bed, I guess it would be funny now if it wasn't so bad, but I couldn't get back in bed because I went 8 days without eating. Now I drank and I drank or eat ice cream. I said, well, I put something in my body, but I couldn't eat any solid food or anything.
Yeah.
And so anyway, if it'd been any worse, I think I'd died. I could not, and I went to the doctor. I got 4 shots and a prescription, and finally I started feeling better and coming out of it. But this corona virus is, the governor of Tennessee, so I could talk about it tonight if somebody wanted to talk about it. And now he has coming down with an order that no more than 10 people get together at one time in the state of Tennessee. Now, what's going to happen to these poor old people that's in the small restaurants or even the large restaurants?
We have to everybody, but I think they still won't kill the common.
Are they going to what?
Kill the common. That common, go bring us back down again.
Well, the the economy.
Yeah.
You know, I know that my boys. Now I got out of the stock market whenever I was 75 because my money is safe. Okay.
Yeah.
But my boys, I bet you that between the two of them, they've probably lost $50,000 just in the stock market.
Yeah.
But they, I'd say they probably had their brokers to take the money out or do something. I know I would to keep it from just keep falling. But you know, today it was almost 3,000 points it lost today. The biggest loss in one time. But here's another thing. And now this is political, I guess. But you know, George Bush, whenever they went to Afghanistan or Iraq, they had this ship after about 3 months, whenever it seemed that everything was over, and Saddam Hussein had been killed, or actually captured, and he was killed a little later. To come back with that big old sign on that ship, mission accomplished. We're still fighting that war today. And they compared that to what Trump had said. Oh, this is just a small
and cured.
It'll go away in just a few days. We only got 15 people that's got it, but it just keeps growing, and we're getting close to 100 or 1,000 people that's got it, and we're 67 or 70 people that's died with it, and where's it going to go away? And right now, the economy, there's no question, it's going to hurt bad. Huh?
It's going to take a while to get over it.
Yeah, no matter what. If it was everything just went straight 100% the way we'd like for it to go today, it's not going to be over in 4 or 5 months. It's going to take years, because you look at the stock market, and the stock market has dropped from 2,900 points down to 2,000 today, from the time it's been going. Well, that's 1/3 of the economy, or as far as the stock market is concerned, 1/3 that's been lost in the last 2 weeks.
This is going to hurt.
Oh.
It might not hurt the big people, but it's going to hurt the small business people.
It'll kill them. There'll be I think that there's talking about anyone that's got more than seating capacity or something, or 50 people or more, they're not going to help, and it's going to be bad. I appreciate your call. Thank you. Bye-bye. We'll go commercial. You in there, Matthew? Sure. Okay. We'll be right back after these commercials.
Insurance advisors. People ask me all the time, well, what about dental and vision? Can I get dental and vision with my Medicare plan? And the answer is yes. Several of the major insurance companies that are available in our area actually include dental and vision coverage as part of your primary medical coverage when you join one.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Accidents happen. That's why State Farm agent Linda Kilgore and her team are dedicated to getting your car fixed and back on the road as soon as possible. It's just part of being there. Call or visit Linda Kilgore today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Motorcycles, ATVs, and Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Arctic Cat. Tommy's is your authorized dealer with full dynamic dyno system to see your bike's performance at its peak. If you're looking for a quality used bike, check out Tommy's Chicken Coop. Tommy's Motorsports can put you on the bike, ATV, or jet ski at the prices you can afford. That's Tommy's Motorsports, exit 122 at
I sat there and just about went to sleep, folks. I really went past that. But anyway, we're just talking about the stock market there for a minute. We've had this thing happen again, was happening. Usually when we have these stock market deals, it's a Republican regime. Those are the people that's in power. And it used to be if we went to war, it was always don't vote for the Democrats because they'll take you to war. Well, that's changed a lot. And I can't say the Democrats are anything. There's just policies that the Democrats have that I grew up with my grandfather being a Democrat, my dad being a Democrat. And the things that I looked at the most was Social Security. Who was in office when Social Security came around? Who was in office when we started having food stamps? And who's helped the needy or the poor more than anybody? And it's been the Democrats. And I remember as a kid, if it hadn't been for the commodities and the giveaway of food, we put them in what we call the smokehouse, but it wasn't a smokehouse, it was a salt house. You cut them up, and you lay them on these slabs. Ever seen that or did that? Now, that smokehouse was a way to preserve your meat, but we never did smoke the meat or whatever. We did it with salt. That's what my grandfather did. And our potatoes, we dig the potatoes in the fall, or in the fall, and dig a hole. And we put them down in the hole, and you had a thing put in the mound where you put those potatoes, and you move it around to where you can reach in and get potatoes for cooking, and that's how we got our potatoes. And then came along these big old blocks of cheese, commodity cheese, and it was more like a Spam or treat meat, blocks of meat and stuff. And those are the kind of things, and the beans and the powdered milk. Those are the kind of things that we lived on. And those were programs of the Democrats. So, anyway, I do believe that it's whenever, and it's been the best program that's ever happened for us. You're on the air.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Dixon.
Hey, how you doing?
That's good to see you. You got several subjects going, man.
Yeah?
Hey, like nobody's discussing them.
Well, I know that. This one guy called in and talked about the economy, and he's right. We need to be worried about it, or concerned anyway.
Yeah, most of these issues are big issues with a lot of aspects, like the stock market. I believe there's in excess of 6,000 different commodities or companies that trade on the exchange, something like that. And basically, the market is determined by the buyers and the sellers.
Absolutely.
When you get people
Well, one of the things, and you can elaborate on that, there's still a lot of people, because the president says it's a hoax. It's not a hoax.
So what are we talking about now?
This whole thing, the virus, the stock market fall, and all that, it's and it's not a hoax. It's a
my knee's not hurting tonight, so you may be spurred a little.
Okay.
But anyhow, I remember what he had to say was not that the virus was a hoax. The virus is not a hoax. It's sure, I mean, but it was something else.
Well, he did mention that it's a hoax and it's fueled by and he was talking about the virus too. It was fueled by the media.
Well, he was talking about the way the media is hyping it up.
Yeah.
Not the hoax, not the virus itself.
Yeah.
The virus itself, that's a tangible, whatever thing.
It's
been able to, I haven't heard anything spoken about. And that's where you talk about the age differentiation as to whether the elderly people don't survive it. Now, I've never heard it mentioned. Do the younger, young generation, are they getting it? Are they becoming it?
Oh, they're getting it, but they're not dying.
Okay. They are becoming infected. Okay, when they become infected, it's my understanding that once they've had it, then they're immune to it. Kind of like measles or chickenpox.
I don't know.
Well, that's part of what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it. I've listened to some of it. I don't know. Here lately, I'll be honest with you. I fall asleep back and watch TV, except maybe at when it turns 10 o'clock. For some reason, my clock turns off, and I don't go to sleep. I stay awake, and all night long I'm really.
I can stop all this stuff that's cracking in my head. I mean, it's just.
So I guess me and you are alike.
Well, you've got to figure out some way to turn it off. There's so much. I don't know how to describe it, but tons of it.
Yeah.
You hit on the homeless situation. I think a lot of our problems, what was it that Reagan said, be careful when the government says I'm here and I'm here to help you.
Yes.
We think we're in charge. We're not in charge of anything. We just think we are. Everything, every decision, I don't care whether it's just scratch your rear end, you've probably got to get a permit or get somebody's permission.
Yeah.
And that person that you're getting that permission from, people who are elected to office, they're not elected to office because of their knowledge. They're elected because of their personality. They don't go through any kind of a test. You could, third grade, I don't want to say a dropout because, most people finish in third grade.
That we've had was Truman. Everybody else has been a college graduate.
Well,
But Truman was
yeah, I get what you're saying, right? Yeah, but I done got misled there. I thought you're talking about the education level. I thought you were talking about his level of character. They're different things.
What I understand, Truman was a character.
But well, that's another thing too. But going back to this thing, like our public officials, how do we hold a position like that?
And they basically don't, because most of those people that's been there is, let's just take Bill Lee, and I don't have anything against Bill Lee. I don't know the man, but he ran a campaign of just soft, not.
He did not have no need whatsoever as far as financial gain or anything else to go out there and put it on the line for this position. Yeah, if you go back through there are very few people that run for an office to be a public servant. They do it for other reasons, and there can be a dozen different reasons. But I'm going to go back to this. What qualifies that? To me, a person that's going to be a leader needs to I'm not talking about that you. Well,
I know what you're saying. I'm just like
just take their dues.
this whenever. There's a coach, and I won't mention the name or even where they're at. I talked to the other day, and I said, I think you're a very good person. Everybody thinks the world of you. But the abuse that you take for being a coach, I don't understand it. Because it can't be the money, because it's not that much.
Okay.
Why do you keep taking this abuse?
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
He wouldn't answer.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, he wouldn't answer. And it don't make sense. But it's just like me on this program. Why do I keep coming and doing it? Because I love it.
Well, you're doing a community service also. I mean, this is very important. People, I don't see why they're going to take advantage of it. And it would appear to me that you have our elected officials lined up at the door. Wait.
I believe I can give you an answer if you, and think about it. They don't have the confidence in themselves to talk to you about what they believe in.
Well,
and they don't want to be held to something. Well, hell, if I make a commitment to you, you can hold me to the fire 24 a day. I'm not afraid to make a commitment. And how I don't understand why.
Get people their opinions and the whys. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And answer the questions.
And here's the thing about it is, all they need is 51%. Because everybody's not going to agree with them. I don't care what you do. I mean,
but still, yeah, I understand. And my chain of thought kind of getting away from me here a little bit. But the things that I have seen, and I'm about to give up on it, I think the government is totally in charge of everything, and I think they should be. Just like this homeless situation, if the government can take care of everything on the sun, if we can build whatever, I can name off 1,000 things, why has the government not solved this problem? Well, it seems like the government can solve every problem we've got from.
Bernie thinks he can.
Well, there you go, Steve. Socialist, that would be the way to do it. In my opinion, there's tons of stuff out here that can be done that the citizens have the knowledge and whatever to do if the government would get out of the way. Government's in the way here. Like I say, you cannot. I can tell you stuff just in a little simple business. It's unbelievable what it costs you in permits, you name it, everything under the sun and stuff. I can show you 20 pages of stuff that are on just a little simple thing that you go to do. And that makes no sense whatsoever. And this is what I'm saying. Businesses cannot get started. I stated that the best way to keep anybody from failing is don't ever let them get started. And they will never fail if you can prevent them from ever getting started. But I'll tell you what,
No, you can just keep. I'm listening.
I'm sorry. Did you say another call?
No. There's not been another call. That's fine. And if it was, I'm not worried about it. They've had all kinds of times to get in here, and they know that you're going to call late in the show, and you have some good ideas, and I like to hear them, and I like the people to talk about ideas. We don't have to actually argue. We debate the difference between this and that, and I like that. And
yes, go ahead.
And I pay the rent right here every week, whether I'm here or not.
You and I have different opinions on certain things, whatever else.
Absolutely.
It's how you, I'd like to hear other people's opinions.
Oh, I would too.
There are some thinkers out there. There are some good
used to have a 6 or 8 that every week, and they would talk about things. Now, I had the the lady when I first came here that called all the time, and she passed away.
Yeah, I remember who you're talking about.
And she always has. And then we had some others. A lot of people that watched has passed away. Cause
a lot of people have become. I don't know what the good word is for the
state of our union.
I see examples. And like I said, I go back. I think stuff here. They take care of things and so forth. But anyhow, I'm losing my chain of thought.
Well, hey, you know what? The older we get, the easier it is to lose stuff.
Well, there's so much stuff, but there's so many things. But I love your other people's opinions on this stuff.
I'd love for you to come on the show with me sometimes and just, you know, what I really would like to do, and probably never do it. I'd like to see Ann Hester, you, and good Lord.
I bet you're trying to make
Hazel Valley. I'd like to see you all three here on the show at one time. And I'll tell you what I do. I'll pay for the time. I go on at 8 and I'll pay for us to stay here for 12. That's 4 hours.
You think we could last that long?
I guarantee you we could get you to arguing and me in the middle of it. And it'd be the funnest night we ever had.
Well, we'd have to have some refreshments, you know.
Oh, well.
Anyhow.
I wouldn't want to have the any of the alcohol variety because we'd have Hazel Valley and Ann Hester throwing them at each other.
I'll tell you, those are good people.
Oh,
First,
I think the world of them.
You'd be surprised. Well, their background and whatever, you'd really, there are a ton of, I don't know what you call potential. They've got, but they've done it. They've been there and they've done it.
Well, let me tell you this. See, me and you are the third graders, and those two guys are the Harvard.
Absolutely.
They are smart.
I really enjoy exchanging whatever with them. But it's not took up a lot of time. You got
It's time to go home now. So,
well, you travel safe, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
I hope to be here. But the thing about it is, you know, if the governor gets too strict on these things and don't want us to out and driving, but if somebody wants to come and sit in, I'll pay for the time or I'll run a rerun because I want to keep my spot because I don't want to lose this spot. I sat here for several years trying to get this spot because somebody didn't want it anymore, and I got it and I'm going to keep it till I don't want it anymore.
Did you mention that you're going to the VA?
Yes.
I was of the opinion that you had a different, that you were going to an outside position or something other than the VA.
Well, I don't have to go to the VA doctors anymore. See, they gave us a choice.
Okay, I got it. You're under the VA, but you're not going to a VA establishment.
Right. I went to Mountain Homes for a year or two, and there's some of the doctors I just absolutely wasted my time.
Well, if you were going to VA, that's what concerned me. A VA facility, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went
from your choice.
Yeah, I went. Now that you've got a choice, and so I go to like Fort Sanders. I got down and I started out whenever I had the heart surgery and had 3 stents put in 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Now time passes. Now they have, that was a private doctor, but now I go to the military just for checkups.
Okay. Well, okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Appreciate your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay, thank you. Good night, everybody. And don't forget buck or two, around the bend, you wear green tomorrow, you get a free gift. And get down there and tell them that RL sent you, and they are open, so be careful. Good night, everybody.
I've been very lucky. I've been able to help a lot of folks here in Scott County and in Campbell County over the years, and we've had plans change, we've had doctor networks change, we've had individual situations change, and we've always been able to work together and find plans that meet our needs currently as they are. You know, a lot of times we sign up for a plan 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years ago, and we just assume that it's still the best plan. Well, in that amount of time, any number of things can change. And in this last year, there have been 3 new plans come out. One of them has a 0 premium. So if you're paying a lot for your insurance, or if you've been kind of curious about what might be different for this next year, that's a great reason to call me up. If I've helped you in the past and you're okay on your plan, I really appreciate your business. But why not tell a friend or a relative about me? And if they need some help, I'll be sure to give them the same attention that I gave you. Hope you're having a great day.
Biggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor here at the new and improved Biggs Drugs.
Accidents happen. That's why State Farm agent Linda Kilgore and her team are dedicated to getting your car fixed and back on the road as soon as possible. It's just part of being there. Call or visit Linda Kilgore today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Thomas Motorsports at exit 122 in Clinton has a huge showroom full of motorcycles, ATVs, and jet skis. Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Arctic Cat. Thomas is your authorized dealer with full dynamic dyno system to see your bike's performance at its peak. If you're looking for a quality used bike, check out Tommy's Chicken Coop. Thomas Motorsports can put you on the bike, ATV, or jet ski at the prices you can afford. That's Tommy's Motorsports, exit 122 at Clinton.
All of the valley, exploded to space.
But coronavirus adds a new twist, says economist Diane Swan. There's just no way companies could...
The views, opinions, positions, or strategies expressed on WLAF TV 12 do not necessarily reflect those of the staff, management, ownership, or advertisers of WLAF TV 12, 1450 WLAF Radio, FM 100.9, or 1450WLAF.com.
Markets did not react well to what the president said. Stocks had their worst day in more than 30 years. The Dow falling nearly 3,000 points, or 12.9%. United Airlines will slash half of its flying capacity in April and May, while also warning the coronavirus pandemic could push the cuts into the peak summer travel season. Meantime, not only has the virus hit Tom Hanks and his wife, but actor Idris Elba says he found out today that he too tested positive for the virus after finding out Friday that he was near someone who had it. This is CBS News.
Crime, punishment, redemption.
Even the most demented Hollywood writers would not have dreamed up an ending like this.
48 Hours, Saturdays on CBS.
What's a Zoom room? It's what your conference room is meant to be, with flawless video and audio conferencing, instant wireless content sharing from any device, and just one tap of a button to start a meeting. Any space can easily become a modern, simple-to-use Zoom room. From huddle rooms to executive offices to huge training rooms. And whether you have a few rooms or a few thousand, Zoom Rooms is effortlessly scalable. Sign up online for a free 30-day trial of Zoom Rooms and meet happy with Zoom.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I just feel great. It gives me energy. It's not like too much energy where I'm flying all over the place, but it's just the right amount. I just feel so good. I love taking Balance of Nature.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off